Yeah, so this is the volunteering assignment 2, good discussion. My name is Adam French.
Kayla McNamara.
I'm Sammy Mason. So for our placement, we were with the Primary Stars through the Saints Foundation. This gave us the opportunity to volunteer alongside multiple different primary schools as they interacted in a tournament environment. This comes as, again, a volunteering experience, which, as Wilson 2000 describes it, is any activity in which time is given freely to benefit another person, group, or cause. And in this case, this was actually probably a mutual benefit for both us to gain experience, as well as the organization that we helped out with to make sure that the program ran smoothly.
Yeah, I feel it's very beneficial for them because they're allowed to just set up the tournament and we can do little tasks they don't really need to be done. And also it's very good for the girls as it just overall increases participation as more of them joining into the session.
Yeah, that's true. I've got another volunteering definition. So, as stated by the British Council 2022, volunteering is a brilliant way to gain work experience because by offering your time, you'll really get to understand how a company, charity or organisation works, building your team working abilities and demonstrating a proactive and dedicated nature. So I feel like when we were working with the Saints, we were obviously collaborating with Primary Stars organisation, and I feel like it gave us all an average day of what it might look like to work for the Saints. So that volunteering experience gave us that it gave us that day-to-day vision of how it would feel, and because it was quite well organised in my opinion, I feel like
I think so
hearing from other groups, our one was just, we got told everything, and on the day there was no stress. There was generally no stress whatsoever.
We knew exactly what we needed to do, what our task was, and it ran super smoothly. I think that we kind of lucked out with
I think so, definitely.
that.
So our day-to-day, we started, when we got there, we gave us a debrief. We already had emails of them explaining our role. We had a description of our role, and when we got there they went over that again, didn't they? And then they kind of just made us feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And then what did we start by so
we set the equipment a lot. Made sure it was all the balls were pumped up,
got the bibs out,
in set order. Because then we went and then we set it all out on the pitch, didn't we? Made sure they're all good. But walked around. There was about 11 pitches, wasn't there?
I think so, and I think we only actually used 5 for the actual tournament. The others were practice, or they had some of the female,
the big ones.
Yeah, some of the players from Southampton FC for the girls' side, women's side, doing some PR stuff. I think too.
Even starting from the first job they gave us was to show the kids and the teachers where the changing rooms are. So that kind of gave us a sense of responsibility for the day.
Yeah, definitely.
So they were kind of showing us, we are just going to let you just go off and do it, which I guess is a good experience for us to even just saying, I felt like I was actually had something to do. And
we were interacting with them as well.
Yeah.
So when we're not just on the pitches, we've actually all met all the teachers already pretty much.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's one of the strengths of volunteering as well, getting, I don't know, feeling like you've done something to help someone.
Yeah, I feel like I'm engaging with a different group of people in an environment not like a school, where it's kind of it's just a lot more relaxed.
And with the kids seeing us right at first and everything, they weren't later on confused as to why we were at their field or something, and they knew that they could talk to us and we weren't gonna
a lot more
be
comfortable.
Scary.
Yeah, true.
Okay.
We had that and obviously we were all wearing our stuff,
so
they knew who we were, and we had that role, and obviously the other staff were talking to us we were meant to be there, which made us feel right, this is actually what we're doing, which I think is good.
Yeah, because we stuck together at the start, but then obviously once we were comfortable, we then split off as well into our own pitches.
So he gave us all a pitch to monitor, because obviously that was our role. We were just pitch monitors. So I was at the one at the far end, you were that side.
I was at the closest.
And which one were you?
I was on pitch 11, the furthest one away. Yeah.
So how was each of your experiences doing? Because we were by ourselves, we're just with each teams that were coming through.
Yeah, I mean, so I was on pitch 1, which as the tournament progressed, it got the more experienced teams and the ones that progressed further. So I had the quarterfinals, semifinals, finals, and quite some advanced teams later on. So, I mean, the job overall was just kind of keeping track of score, making sure that the teams were there, and making sure that that everything was kind of running smoothly, like for you guys. But when it got to the more advanced games of the tournament, you could tell that they were starting to get more aggressive. Like the players were playing more aggressive. The coaches, who were originally just kind of interacting, shaking hands with each other, were now
Did that
all
change
of a
your
sudden-
experience?
Yeah, I think it seemed very lighthearted at first, and then probably halfway through after that
So
lunch
you got to the
period,
playoffs, they
it got
started kicking, yeah.
really serious, and you could feel the energy shift, and it was like I had to actually talk to the referee and everything, kind of give her a heads up. Hey,
Yeah.
just watch out for these girls because they're starting to get aggressive, and eventually, if this isn't nipped in the butt, they're gonna get injured.
So how was your refs? Because obviously we had the pitch monitor role, but we weren't supposed to be reffing.
Yeah, we
the
weren't
teams.
actually
Yeah.
But
let
how
them
was
do it.
yours? Because my ref in mine, I had the same one, and she didn't really know what she was doing like at all, which isn't a problem. But obviously they had training for that.
Oh.
But she told me like I have no idea what I'm doing, so then I kind of had to take over her role, and like she wanted help. So I guess that kind of gave me more responsibility, but that wasn't my job. So I feel like if we had a bigger, I don't know, like more of a responsible role, because obviously we were just monitoring the pitch because the refs had their job.
Yeah.
But I feel like my role was more than that because I was talking to the coaches, I was like letting them in, all that stuff.
Yeah, because my
It
ref
wasn't that serious.
Yeah, my ref wasn't as good as well, to be fair. Like, at the start, she was very unconfident. She didn't have a coat on and it was freezing, just stuff like that. And she didn't really know the rules because I think I spoke to the head ref there, and all the girls, so they're all girls in like year 10 or 11. I think they're on and they're reffing there because I think they're working towards a ref qualification.
Okay.
So, because like the tournament's to improve like girls' participation in football, but also I think the refs was like increased participation in like refs, like women's refs as well in the game to get them more qualified. So that's why I think they weren't the best. But as
Yeah, true.
further through the tournament, they got more relaxed and they actually started.
No,
calling
they did.
stuff.
They did actually.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, like they were just like us. They were volunteers too. This was an opportunity for them
To learn.
to learn. Yeah, exactly. They were
But
they were
overall,
not
our
expected.
day with the Saints at the like obviously we got given a fun tournament. Or like overall, what do you think? Like, do you think it was a good experience, good day?
I think it was a good experience for what it was. In terms of coaching, we didn't necessarily actually have that ability to, so I don't
Yeah.
think as a coaching experience it was necessarily a positive thing.
I agree.
But as an overall experience of getting involved with the Saints, getting involved with some primary schools, and just kind of getting into the community, I think that was 100% amazing.
Yeah, it's like getting your foot in the door into Saints Foundation, so we can get further in, like into the coaching roles.
Yeah.
But it was nice that, but obviously towards our course, it's not the best for the coaching, obviously. But it's nice to just have that experience with the kids.
Exactly.
I'd say like the definition of coaching, as stated by the International Coaching Federation, is that the process of coaching often unlocks previously untapped sources of imagination, productivity, and leadership. So, like, I'd say my experience personally, I feel like it was productive throughout the day. Like, I feel like I was always like had a role and assist in any needs of like the kids or even the teachers. Like, they asked a lot of questions. But I'd say the actual coaching, like in itself, wasn't as much, which is kind of the whole point that we needed to be there.
Yeah.
So I feel like we could have, if we had other roles, then maybe. But the leadership aspect I felt in a way as well. But yeah,
That's
I
good.
did enjoy volunteering with the Saints, 100%.
Yeah, we had a really good role at least.
Mhm. I would
It was
do.
fun to
Would you guys do it again?
I would.
I think I would, yeah.
And that's the thing, like, this is something I typically like to think of myself as being proactive, but I don't think I ever would have considered doing something like this.
No,
But
yeah.
having this opportunity definitely makes me think, oh, I would love to do this more in the future.
Legacy refers to all planned and unplanned positive and negative, intangible and tangible structures created for a sports event that remain after the event. It's stated by Grayton and Bruce, 2008.
That kind of leads on to like the legacy of
Yeah.
what we did.
Yeah.
So there's always a legacy to like
Yeah.
stuff.
And the fact that it was, as you mentioned, so well organized,
Yeah.
it really made it like so simple. Like you could do no wrong, and I think that's what really like kind of sets it up to wanting to do it again, because there was no issues I couldn't
Yeah.
think of.
Yeah, I could
That's a
think.
good point.
And I saw the participants like throughout the day, they're all just really engaged. Even when they were sitting on the side of the substitutes, they're still cheering on the team, and they had a really good role in that. As in, if you go a 3-goal deficit, you can chuck another substitute on. It's 7v6. It was nice. It kept them all engaged, even when they're sitting on the sideline.
Yeah.
So they're ready to go.
Yeah. And like that final game when all the other teams were watching too,
Yeah.
and so they all know that they're out. There's only 2 teams left, but I was overhearing different teachers and different players, as well as some of the directors from the Saints and everything, talking with one another and starting to figure out, okay, which team are you cheering for? Which team are you cheering for? Because even if they didn't go to, even if some of the kids didn't go to the same schools as these other kids that were playing, they still might have known each other from different neighborhoods or
just
somewhere else.
Like
And
that,
so they knew different friends and were like, oh, that's my best friend. I'm going to cheer for them. And it was really sweet to see.
But that will make them want to do it again as well.
Yeah.
And I'd say, like, because it was such a smooth, good day, obviously the Saints will want to host another, like, tournament like that again. Because it was such a good day, that will, even the schools, like, they'll be interested in doing it again, which is kind of like the legacy for the Saints, for Primary Stars, for the tournaments, I'd say. In that aspect, like, it was, I'd say it was pretty good. And it could be, obviously it was just the schools in Southampton, but if they were to do it again, they could extend out to, like, other areas, other counties.
Yeah, because they got to Walston, but that's still Southampton.
Yeah.
They could get, like, go a bit more up and go to Portsmouth or Bournemouth, get a bit more.
And that would give more schools, and then, I just think that's kind of a legacy in itself.
Yeah. And plus, like, Williams and Dury of 2017 stated that, like, a lack of learning opportunities is what can create volunteer burnout. But the way that I see it from our experience is, while we didn't have the best coaching experience and wouldn't maybe want to have that exact same experience again, how you mentioned that we how it kind of gets our foot into the door and everything.
Yeah.
There's plenty of other ways that we can continue with them, because they gave us their email, so we can go back and volunteer for them
be
again.
proactive and see.
Exactly. And we can go out and find more opportunities through the Saints Foundation to get those coaching experiences. And it might not be in Southampton. It could be with Southampton, but FC, but it might not be in this city particularly, kind of like how you mentioned, where it expands a little bit to the outer areas.
Yeah.
Or if you really go above and beyond with them and you have to start traveling with them, which could be great too.
Yeah, I would 100% do that.
It's a really good opportunity, because even after that, I got, like, I think we all got a LinkedIn from Ian Butcher, the guy who runs it. That's just that opens the door.
Did. I have to go on my LinkedIn. I don't think I got that.
Yeah, it just opens that door, and also because they do other sports, like the Southampton Foundation, they do like tennis, cricket, they do other stuff. And obviously, once you got there, because I feel like we did quite good as a group, and I think they quite liked us, so we've been proactive. And then, like, if there's something comes up, like another tournament or a different thing, like a coaching role, they might look to us if we email them back and go through a couple more. So it's very good for the employability as well.
Exactly.
And I'd say that kind of helps with our social capital, like, to, like, depending on what we want to do with our future. So I'd say with me, I guess at the end of it, they told us, like, that they were really impressed with how we performed, I guess, and how our experience was. That they said we did everything, we dealt with all the challenges they throw at us, and we took on all the responsibilities well. And obviously, like you said, we have the contacts to do more stuff with them if we want. Like, if we want to go into something else, they obviously provide that anyway, so we could just contact them, and that's a link right there to expanding our network and doing different events, and which is such a big thing, because obviously Southampton Football Club, well, I'm not that much into football, but they're a big club, like, and especially with the foundation that goes with it, the opportunities you can get from it can lead you in good stead. Obviously, we know from people coming into our lectures.
Oh, yeah.
It's
they grew up from the foundation into
exactly.
the actual club.
So that could be us. So, what changes and stuff would you make, and, like, how would you make the day, like, more fun for the kids?
I feel like maybe just trying it differently, maybe splitting up into 6 different afternoons maybe, and give it a bit more, because it was nice having the whole day, because it was their last day of term, they're all quite excited, but maybe if you did over 6 different weeks, it'd be a bit more of a build up towards the final maybe.
That's true, actually.
Yeah, and have more games, and maybe they feel a bit more into it because they're not as tired, because they're not playing like 10 games in a day. They're playing a couple. Obviously, maybe you can't book out goals for that many times, but it should be a bit different having it all in one day.
No, that's true, actually, because I think if it was done like that, we would have more of a like specific job to do, like more than the rest. Sorry, because we'd be like, it would be less people to look after, and I guess we would just have more of that one-on-one coaching experience with the kids.
Yeah, I just think that like with that one short span of like the 6 hours and everything, it doesn't give necessarily much variation in it.
Yeah,
and
it's
so
just one small snippet pretty much. Yeah.
And so if it were to have been spread out over a few days or weeks, then each time you came back, it would 100% be different in some way, shape, or form, and you would be experiencing something new. And so your role for that 6 hours in one short go is going to be very like one-sided, very, very similar. Whereas if you had done it 6 hours spread over 6 days, it would have been different every hour.
That is true, actually, I'd say.
Because even further than 6 hours, 6 hours, like we did that in one day, it's not that much. It's nice like a little bit, but if you do a bit more, you get the more experience, even get like build those connections even more with people who work there.
I would prefer that, to be honest. I would prefer to have that more concise coaching experience compared to what we had. But again, it was still a good day. But I'd say the kids, like, I think they did enjoy themselves as well, and they would probably do it again. But I'd say if there wasn't really any rewards, like they're year sixes, aren't they? Like they're young girls. I'd say to get them more excited, like, I don't know, maybe medals could be provided, T-shirts for the winning team, or like even stickers. Like stickers for kids is like such a big, it's such a good reward. Or like they could just give them out like on the way when they were leaving. Yeah. It's just like a little something to just boost them, or like
they might give medals as a winning team, but I feel like there was like 20 teams. Yeah. It could be something, just like a T-shirt they gave there.
Yeah, just
something
anything.
To remember it by.
There was no real incentive for them to come out and do this.
Yeah.
There was an incentive for us, as termed by Caldwell and Anderecht from 1994, solidarity incentives, which deal with social interactions and networking opportunities. So we had more of a benefit than even the children, I think, which when this program is meant for them, we essentially have a very long extended field trip / recess time.
Day out of lesson.
With no real like reward to doing good or wanting to do good.
Yeah, the actual session's the reward pretty much.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Whereas we at least kind of benefit from it. We get volunteering experience. We get some connections. We get something done for class, but
it works towards our course, but it's also because like the course leaders they gave this to us. It's not us like going actively seeking it. It's a bit different.
Yeah, and I'd say the kids that went there for the tournament, they're gonna love it regardless, because if they do like football, but obviously not all the girls probably did. There was some that they probably just had to get to make the numbers, so they might have not enjoyed themselves as much, and they probably could have dealt with they probably could have wanted like an extrinsic reward, like a sticker or something, because they might have not wanted to be there. Like each child has got a different view on the day, but I guess overall they probably had a good day. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I think we all, us, the directors of the tournament, the refs, and the kids all had a really good experience for our respective placements.
Yeah, overall, I'd say the experience of them was well organised, definitely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it was nice having the refs as volunteers, because then they get the experience. Everyone gains something from this.
Yeah, true. And the feedback that we received about, like, it's not like we just left not knowing how the day was for them, like what they thought of us. They actually gave us feedback after.
But we actually contributed to like the community.
Yeah.
And it was successful.
Yeah.
Which is,
I'd definitely say so. Yeah.
It was a mutual relationship, like benefit and everything. They got the help that they needed, and because like some of these programs don't have the money to pay for it or anything, we were able to go in, volunteer, do it off our time, happily do it, and we benefited from the experience, they benefited from our assistance and help,
I'd say that's a
and
good.
overall, it turned out perfect.